Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Friday, July 3rd, 2015. Ra, Asha, and Pan here in the Lynn-Body-Mind. Fritz, Black Wolf, and Betty Jean in the Jamie Body-Mind. Other teammates in other levels. Overnight, another large-scale experiment was conducted. Those non-physical beings, those who had previously been exempted from the cycles of reincarnation, who had come to the conclusion for themselves that this wasn't working, that it was causing them as sentient presences to devolve, to become less effective, came into the physical dimension, not into these body minds, these are already occupied.
That's true.
But into other physical presences nearby, and saw what it was like. They came in with the intention to support a physical dimension life for the length of the life.
That's true.
And within about 12 hours, give or take, fully a third of them were back out, convinced that they had been here for a lifetime.
That's true.
And those wiser minds above who were watching this experiment are horrified. That is
true.
the word that they keep using.
Horrifying.
It's horrifying results.
That's true.
We believe that the videoed portion of our work today will somehow involve that experiment, but we could of course be wrong. Our foundational assignment remains to do what is ours to do in all dimensions right now, to trigger the awakening right now. And with that, it begins. It seems that we are in one of the classrooms, not from the remedial lowest third of the class, but from those non-physical presences who are returning now, and every time approximately 30 of them is there, another class is formed, and another class is formed, and another class is formed. And we see how 24 hours have not elapsed since the experiment began.
That's true.
And more than half are back, if I have
I'd say
it right.
60 to 75%.
Yes, 75%. Yeah, 60 to 75% are back in under 24 hours when the assignment was to go in
for a lifetime.
For a lifetime.
That's true.
For a lifetime. And as they're coming into the classrooms and sitting down, the instructors are beginning, and I can hear the beginning words coming from various classrooms up and down this long hall, and the words are identical.
That's true.
And let me see if I can get it right. The thought is, let's just get the pasture fence in place.
That's true.
Let's see what the boundary is here. Less than 24 hours ago in Planet Earth Dating, you signed a document that said you commit to continually incarnating.
That's true.
That it did not serve you to be exempted from that process.
That's true.
So that document is signed, and integrity matters a lot more than we think it does.
That's
and
true.
You can't get out of that.
That's true.
You're in it. You're in it again. And for all eternity, if I'm reading the document correctly.
Right, that's true.
For all eternity. So this is actually good news, because once we get over that decision, and our decision is, I'm in.
That's true.
The agonizing over the decision is behind us. So heads up, friends, you're in. You already signed that. You already made that decision, and you're in.
That's true.
The assignment is to make it better for the life you came in to support.
Yes, that's true.
Not worse.
That's true.
These particular presences all answered a call. A call went out saying, who would like help?
Raise your hands.
Raise your hands if you want help to live your soul plan. Who would like help to live your soul plan? And these hands went up.
Way up.
Way up. Straight arms. Those are the beings that you came in to support.
That's true.
Now, put yourself in their shoes, okay?
Nodding.
You're struggling. You want to live your soul plan.
Nodding.
You're surrounded by a sea of sentience that does not want to live the soul plan, but you want to do it.
Nodding.
And you've already suffered quite a bit from being different, right?
Yes.
You answer this call, this request. Who would like help? You answer the call. You can feel that you were chosen. Oh, goody, goody,
good,
goody.
good.
Here comes some help. Thank goodness, thank goodness. In and out in less than a day.
Boom.
What was that? Is there something wrong with me? Is it something that I did wrong?
Right.
Was I confused? Am I not supposed to be living that soul plan?
Right.
Am I heading in completely the wrong direction? Maybe my friends were right. Maybe
Right.
there isn't such a thing as a soul plan.
And who was that person anyway?
Maybe that wasn't a good person. I
Right.
don't know.
I feel worse than I did before.
I think that sums it up. Friends, they feel worse than they did before.
Universally, I don't think any of them feel better.
Well, let's just check.
Yeah, I'm just running
Just
hands.
check. Mhm. None of them feel better for the
No.
experience. So this is good to know. It's
is
good
good
to
to
know
know.
that we are at the absolute start, that so far what we've done is horrifying.
That's true.
Is we've come in, we thought we were in for a lifetime,
That's
but
true.
we're so blind
Deaf.
and deaf, and we're so incompetent. There's such a feeling of struggle that it felt like a lifetime's worth of struggle,
That's true.
even though it was for some of you less than 6 hours,
That's true.
and for almost all of you less than 12 hours.
That's true.
This is no good.
No.
How may we be of service
I'm
right
in
now?
service right now to trigger the awakening right now.
Well, way up high, there are people talking, and it did have the feeling of trying something that they already knew didn't work, but their documentation wasn't
Complete.
good enough
Yeah.
that they could be 100% sure that they had done it right.
Right, that's true.
And so now they're sure they did it right. They asked first for the volunteers who
That's
wanted
true.
physical support. They got non-physical presences who were committed to continually reincarnating. They did the starting
Did the steps to get
debrief,
in.
watch out. They did the steps to get in, but
Yeah.
also the debrief, watch
That's
out.
true.
This is going to be so much harder than you think it is.
That's true.
Etc., etc. And this is horrifying.
Yeah.
They thought they would get to this point, but that it would take weeks,
Yeah, that's
not
true.
hours,
That's true.
in planet Earth dating. They did fully expect to be sitting here with this group of people and having this conversation,
That's
but
true.
they did not expect.
The timeline to be so short.
It's so horrifying.
That's true.
They don't even have the classrooms set up.
Ready? No.
Or the instructors.
No.
Maybe that's why the identical words are playing. Maybe it's a video.
Oh, that could be.
That could be, because the intonation is the same.
That's true.
It could be they're being greeted by a video, like when you go to do jury duty, and there's Karen Rushing, clerk of the circuit court, up on the screen, and she is explaining to jurors the importance of their work.
God.
And most of their work involves sitting
That's true.
and waiting.
That's true.
And at the end of the day, most of them are excused without being called. But she explains how important that role is, that when the judges and the attorneys know that there are 200 people out here and that they can select a jury, when they
That's
know
true.
that it's possible to do so, they will work with each other more effectively than if they don't think that's a possibility.
That's true.
There's no sword of Damocles.
That is true.
What do I know about the sword of Damocles? Well, that Damocles was not the person with the difficult life.
No.
The person with the difficult life may have been Dionysus.
That's true.
And everyone wished they had Dionysus' life.
Right.
And so did Damocles, until he had Dionysus' life for
For a
a day,
day.
and then looked up and saw that sword hanging over his
head.
by a hair or
That's
something
true.
like that. And he thought, I don't like this as much as I thought I was going to. And he
No.
jumped back out of the seat.
That's true.
Now,
Right.
what's different is that Damocles didn't sign a paper for all eternity.
That's true.
Damocles didn't say he would keep that role for forever.
No, he said he'd keep it for a day.
That's right.
That's true.
And so for you friends, integrity matters so much more than you think it does, and to try to undo this contract would make it 1,000 times worse for you than to just suck it up and press forward.
That's true.
And do what it takes to make this work. Now, we see that we have a non-workable situation.
Nodding, no one's arguing.
Now the question becomes, what now?
Now?
Well, now there's a lot of loud, almost angry talk from the students.
That's true.
And they're saying, basically, we were tricked.
Right.
You didn't tell us what it was like.
Right.
And now they're pressing the play button on the video of Ra.
That's true.
Saying it over and over and over again, and it's like a montage of all the different rooms, all the different meetings, all the different places, saying it over and over again. And now there are montages of Paul saying it, and Black Wolf saying
That's
it, and
true.
Fritz saying it,
That's
and
true.
Asha saying it, and Pan saying it, and Luce saying it, and saying it, and saying it, and saying it, etc.,
true.
etc., etc. Not to mention Betty Jean,
That's
Glenn,
true.
the list goes on and on and on
That's
and on.
true.
You were warned. You were told the truth. Now what?
What now? I hear alarmy sounds in the hallways. It could just be the students yelling.
Well, what do I know? I know that we can be told that things are bad.
That's true.
But until we walk a mile in those shoes, those words don't really have meaning for us.
That's true.
This is often the walk-away lesson that people come back with when they do a stint in a volunteer opportunity in some desperate backwater of an impoverished country.
That's true.
They come back saying, I knew it was bad, they told me it would be bad, but I didn't understand what that meant.
That's true.
And now I know, and how can we live like this?
Right, now that we know.
Now that we know, how can we live like this?
That's true.
Unfortunately, it usually wears off within a couple of weeks.
That's true.
And people sink back into, quote, normalcy, unquote.
That's true.
What a beautiful gift it is to know that you're going to be going back.
That is true.
Now, this team, and they're showing, I don't know, they're showing us, but it must be a video of us. We saw Asha's portion of this. We saw
Right.
Asha take a question. This seems to be
The rest of that panel.
the rest of that panel,
That's
and something
true.
that happened before the question and answer session.
That's true.
The panel was giving
That's
a
true.
presentation, and they were showing like PowerPoint presentations
Yeah,
of
that's true.
the things that they've tried, the long list of things that does not work, and it's scrolling really fast,
That's
like
true,
credits
credits.
at the end of the film.
But
and
like fast
you
forwarding.
can't
almost.
read it, but you can get the feeling
Yeah.
of, well, lots and lots of things have been tried.
That's true.
And every now and then someone will say, well, what about so-and-so? And they'll
Freeze.
freeze it, and there it is.
There
And what
it
about this
is.
and that?
Freeze
Boom.
it. There it
What
is.
about?
Freeze.
I see that what somebody did is said, and now suggestions for the audience.
Right.
We're open to new ideas here. Shout it out so that all of the cinema can hear it.
you. That's
And
true.
they've all been tried, and they're early in the things. They're early in
Yeah,
the list.
in the
Like
scroll.
whoop, go back up to the top, and yes, those
Right.
are in the top.
100 things we tried.
That's right. All of them are in the top 100,
100.
and most of them are in the top 30.
That's true.
What now? I don't know who I am right now. I'm not any of us. I'm being channeled through Ra's lips, but
Yeah.
I'm not any of us. I'm someone
No,
else, and
that's
I'm
true.
saying what we can see is that this panel, after extensive research,
That's
has come
true.
to the conclusion that this is unworkable and a fresh start is needed. A collective fresh start is needed, and they came to that conclusion long ago.
That's true.
Even in planet Earth dating.
That's true.
And ancient prehistory for the way time is kept in the non-physical.
That's true.
And nothing that has occurred since then has changed that conclusion at
No.
all.
That's true.
And so we see that perhaps you people might be ready to sign some more compelling document that you also agree with this conclusion. It's possible you aren't ready, but now I feel like there's a big rush to the bulletin board to sign the names. And then what we begin to do is call for an overall takedown while we continue to incarnate, because friends, you're thinking that calling for the takedown is going to check off the box next to your name, but no. There's no integrity in that.
That's true.
You must now prepare again and drop in again, just as this Team Awakening has been doing, and you are still committed to your pebble or your chip of stucco or
That's
whatever it is that you gave a commitment to help him or her live his or her soul plan. You're going right back. You're going to go back and try again.
It's true.
Over and over, over and over, over and over and over and over, until we're all out of here, until we're all released all at once.
That's true.
And if you feel that you were tricked, imagine how the sentient presences who are born into the cycles feel.
That is true.
If you have a takedown button, test it.
Test it.
Test it.
If you have any part of a takedown system,
Test it. I hear a click.
I heard that first click.
Yes.
And then from higher up I heard a sound that sounds kind of like when you're playing a claw machine and you put a quarter in, and the quarter, you can hear it clinking down.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hear the motor of the claw, the tiny, tiny motor.
Yeah.
I heard the quarter go clink, 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 clink down.
I hear that.
And then I kind of hear the little motory hum.
Oh, that's so much more accurate than what I heard.
Of the claw.
That's it, that's it.
Right? It's that sound of the claw machine.
Sound. The claw design.
That's who will stay and who will go. It sounds like the claw machine.
Goodbye, my friends.
I go now to a better place. That's true.